Welcome to the Mother Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Happy April the 24th, and we are continuing with our series on women's warnings. And keep in mind, whenever there's a warning, it doesn't mean it has to be a bad warning or a scary warning. It could just be a life warning. If you have not seen the show Sweet Magnolia, when I first heard the name, I only thought about, do you remember the Sweet Magnolia back in the day with Julia Roberts?
No, I don't watch too many. I haven't seen too many old movies with Julia Roberts. So
Way back in the day, you don't remember?
No, I've never even seen Pretty Woman.
Okay. Wow. That means you probably haven't seen a lot of stuff with Reese Witherspoon, huh?
I have like probably a good handful, including some shows she's in. That Sweet Home Alabama, Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn, that Little Fires Everywhere show.
I like that one. Well, Sweet Magnolia you probably won't like, and I'll tell you why. Because it almost, and it's one of the reasons that sometimes I don't like it. I like the message and I like the characters and all that stuff, but it kind of reminds you of a soap opera a little bit. And I don't really do soap operas. The only reason why I say it gives you the remembrance of a soap opera is just because of all the drama that's going on, and it's always something. They may sprinkle in a little goodness, a little sweetness, a little somebody, got revenge, but it does remind you of kind of like a soap opera.
Probably why grandma liked it.
Did you ever watch the show on Netflix, Virgin River?
I'm watching it. I've only been watching it to go to sleep too. I'm not really into it. It's on my list though.
Wow. Okay, to go to sleep. Okay, so you're not into that one.
Just to play something while I'm falling asleep. I'm not really. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to do that with friends. I would watch it and I would go to sleep. But when I watched it in the daytime, I actually liked it. But I think it was just funny, But in the daytime, I liked it. But anyway, okay.
Sweet Magnolia says lifelong friends lift each other up as they juggle relationships, family, and careers.
Yeah, that is it. But I will tell you, there was a lot more to it that caught my attention.
The girl in the purple dress is that girl from Drop Dead Diva on Lifetime.
Yeah, I never did watch that, but I knew she was on something because I had seen her face before. I thought she was the lady on NCI, NCIS, one of those, but she's not. I've quickly realized she's not. So that's where it is, Drop Dead Diva. Is that the one where something about she got hit by a car and came back as somebody else or something?
Yeah, like I think she was like the typical skinny girl, and then when she or maybe no, I think she had like something. She was like a plus size girl, and then when she got in an accident, she was just pretty much someone else, another body.
Oh, okay. So
I know the girl in the middle.
She must have been skinny at first then, because her other character was heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never did. I didn't ever watch that one. But Magnolia, I call it Magnolia. I don't like to call it Sweet Magnolia because there was a movie back in the day with Julia Roberts called Sweet Magnolia that was one of those cult classics that is just so good and just so old school. I don't think that it would survive today if they were to bring it back exactly the way it was, because it's just too old fashioned, and a lot of those old fashioned values people are not valuing at this point. So it would only be for a certain group of people. So when I saw the name of this one, I thought, well, are they trying to like do a spinoff, but it's really nothing like the spinoff.
How many
So
seasons is it?
huh?
Oh, I see 2 seasons. Two.
Yeah, that was gonna say 2, maybe getting ready for 3. But very good. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tips in here that I caught on to that I really liked. And just to give a little premise, Magnolia is a show about a group of ladies who grew up in a particular small town with a lot of small town secrets and a lot of small town gossips. And there's one particular old lady that really likes to gossip. There's a thread that goes through it of really tight friendship, tight lips, and also gossiping. So although those girls don't like to really gossip about everybody else, I mean, they don't like to gossip about themselves. They kind of like to gossip about everybody else. Come to find out, each one of them has their own scandal within their life as well. Number one, again, with it being such a small town, everybody know everybody and know everybody business. I have literally been to small towns and just traveling or whatever, and people look at you like you're not from here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes you could go to the other side of town and they'd be like, where are you from? You're not from this side of town. So people know their own. I was watching a show last night and the guy looked at him and he said, the devil knows his own. I was like, ooh, that was interesting to hear that. But people know when you're not from a particular small town because that town knew everybody's been. So if there was a new guy who came to town, it's like, oh, he knew, he's fresh meat, you know. New girl came to town. Oh yeah, who is that heifer? You know, they talk that type of people. There was a lot of shame that went through the thread, which I noticed that happens in small towns, whether it's a small town in Louisiana, small town in Texas, small town in another country. The shame thread goes through all of these towns. And I think it's because the town is small and everybody knows everybody's business. Mm. One of the things that they had a shame about is one of the girls got a divorce. And in small towns, to get a divorce is like, what are you doing? We're all about family. You don't get divorced. You stick it out and you suffer. So if I had a warning for women on divorce shame, I would say mind your own business and let them mind their own business. And people are going to talk whether you stay together or you don't. They're going to talk because in this town, they talked. The next shame is they had a shame of one of the ladies' husbands cheated with a local person that everybody also knew who she was. Because, you know, again, in a small town, drama. If in a small town, if somebody's husband cheat or somebody's wife cheat, 9 times out of 10, they already know who the person is because it ain't but a handful of people, right? Mm-hmm. And so if it ain't but a handful of people, we can only assume it was Miss Mabel's daughter. Or we can only assume it was Uncle Jesse's son or something like that because everybody knows everybody's business. So the sad thing is he cheated with a girl that worked at the hospital that he got pregnant. That's the caveat right there, is that you can hide the cheating part, but you can't hide the baby. Oh. You know, it kind of reminds me of, and I don't know this for sure, this is just what they say is like, that was the last straw for Wendy Williams. It's like, okay, I know you've been cheating for 25 years, but I'm not gonna deal with the baby. So this is the reason that they ended up getting a divorce, because not only did he cheat, but he left evidence. So the next thing, new love shame. You know, you're in a small town, you get divorced or you separate, because there was another one who separated. And then a new guy comes to town and it's like, ooh, fresh meat. You end up falling in love with him. Now everybody's like, oh, you're the whore, you know. Can I move on? Oh, not in a small town, because, you know, everybody's going to be whispering and talking about what happened. And, you know, even though her husband cheated on her, she should have stuck it out, type of thing. So you got that. So now we got divorce shame, cheating shame, and even the person who gets cheated on gets shame for moving on. Is that crazy or what?
I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's interesting because you got like 5 different stories going on, and they're all salacious stories. There's a good little silver linings and all that stuff. You know, they go on to move on. And the other thing is that one of the ladies was trying to have a baby. She ends up having a little one night stand affair and gets pregnant. Then her husband tries to come back and take her back. She ended up losing the baby, but then she also realized she was confused. Like, she had this new thing going on. The husband comes back, she gives that a gander, and then she finds out he's done even more wrong. So that's what I say. It's kind of like a soap opera, because in a soap opera, there's always some drama. Somebody's sleeping with somebody, somebody's embezzling money, somebody's conniving, somebody's husband is with somebody else's wife, somebody's husband is with somebody else's husband. There's just always some mess going on the stories. Trust me, I know. I used to watch the stories when I was a kid because, you know, my mom watched them. So it's like, so there's the love shame. You can get cheated on, but how dare you go and find another person?
Mm.
Then there's the shame about the one of the ladies gets a separation from her husband. She falls in love with another guy, and then her husband comes back and she takes him back, which affects their kid, because their kid is like, I thought y'all wasn't together, but I come in and y'all on the sofa getting it going on. So she walks in on them and she's like horrified. Like, first of all, I never wanted to see that. But second of all, I thought y'all weren't together. So she was horrified. So you see where I'm going with this thread of it seems like a soap opera?
Yeah.
The only thing that lets me know it's not a soap opera is that it don't move so slow like a soap opera. It's kind of,
that's good.
Yeah. Because soap operas, I mean, that's like watching paint dry. Like, oh my goodness. And then, you know, with a soap opera, also, if you miss 3 or 4 shows, when you watch it again, you could pick right back up on who slept with who and who shot John and all that stuff.
I'm gonna need you to watch Mad Dogs on Amazon Prime so you can do a show about that.
What is that about? I texted you yesterday to ask you what was it about so that I could.
You know, I can't tell it. If it's good, I can't tell it without telling it.
Anybody in there that I know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's familiar characters.
Yeah. You're gonna know probably 2 or 3.
Is it new?
It came out in 2016. It's a show with 10 episodes, and the way that it ended really made me upset because they really could have did like 2-3 more seasons based off of that. But apparently Amazon wanted to go one direction with the other seasons, and the producer didn't agree. So they just
canceled. Yeah. The next thing in this Magnolia show is there was the shame of an illegitimate child. So there were 2 illegitimate children. One is the one that the lady husband put in the nurse. And then the other one was the lady who her and her husband separated. She found out that when he was a young boy, he got one of the town's girls pregnant, but they didn't find out about it until now this person is 20 something years old. So right when she was considering taking him back, she put 2 and 2 together and it equaled 4. Wait a minute, that's your baby. That's your child that you neglected all these years. And she was just like horrified.
It's a bunch of mess.
Yeah, it's a lot of mess. And then there was sex shame in the show. There was sex shame because one of the girls, you know, she had a little one night stand. She ended up getting pregnant. She always wanted a baby on the side anyway. She always, you know, kind of quietly wanted a baby. Then there was the sex with the husband and wife who were supposed to be separated, and their daughter was confused. And then there was the new the one that got divorced from her husband completely, who got the nurse pregnant. She ended up falling in love with the coach that was the new guy in town. So everybody was ashamed that they found somebody else to get it on with, you know. It's like, and the reason is because everybody knew everybody's business. So, you know, if you saw so-and-so with coach so-and-so, you know they had it going on. Because maybe you saw him slide out of her house in the morning, or you saw them together. Like, everybody was in everybody's business. You couldn't even go out and have a drink with somebody or have coffee with somebody because it was like, oh, so that's your new man. Like, very, very nosy, very nosy. And again, we had some baby shame because the lady who wanted a baby she was embarrassed that she couldn't have a baby with her husband that she separated from, divorced, but she got pregnant from a one night stand. So she was in this mind frame of, why is it that I couldn't have a baby when we wanted to have a baby, but then I go and have this little one night stand, and then I get pregnant, and then she loses the baby. She kind of was in this mind frame of, am I just supposed to never have children? Am I supposed to just take this husband back and we try again? Do I tell the one night stand I was pregnant with his baby, but I lost? Like, a lot of shame around wanting kids, but maybe not having them, I guess I should say, in the traditional setting for this little small town. Also, the last thing I'll mention so that I don't tell too much of the show is that you had kids was in your business. Like, for example, when the teenage, she wasn't no little girl, when the teenage girl walked in on her mom and daddy on the couch, she should just look the other way and mind her business and go to her room. You shouldn't even known that was your daddy. You should have just been like, oh, okay, mama got something going on.
What do you mean she shouldn't have known that was her daddy?
Oh, because she didn't see his face until after he looked up, after she said something. Like, if he wouldn't have showed his face, she wouldn't have known who the man was. But after he raised his head up, she was like, Dad, ew, girl, just very dramatic.
That was her mom and her dad. Does she not see her dad a lot or something?
They had gotten divorced. They were separated. Her mom was supposed to have like been moved on, like they tried to sneak around and was like having an affair, trying to get their relationship back. But the thing about the mom is that she was just like, oh, I'm just having fun with him. But the dad was like, no, I want my family back. So they weren't even really on the same page until they had to sit down and have a come to Jesus moment of, what are we doing here? And then every time the girl would look at them, she'd be like, oh, it's like disgusted because she caught them on the couch. But if he would have just not said anything, then she could have just thought her mom was just with anybody, and it wouldn't have traumatized the daughter probably so much. But the mom and dad ended up, as of last season, they did end up, getting back together. They realized they really need each other. And, the mom owned a restaurant and she really needed him for that so she could keep the restaurant going and stuff. So again, it's just a lot of drama. So I would say my warning for women who've watched this series or going to watch this series, mind your business. And anybody who's in your business, ignore them. That's my warning. Ignore people that are in your business, because even though they think they may put the little pieces together, they're never going to really know what really happened behind the scenes from your recollection or from your truth. So let them call you a whore. Let them call you whatever. Because in the end, the woman whose husband ended up getting the young girl pregnant at the hospital, she ended up going to the girl baby shower and sewing her a personal blanket and giving it to him. It was like, I can't blame you. I have to blame him. He was married. He was the one that was married. And no matter what happened between the two of y'all, it should have been him who said, nah, I love my wife. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to sleep with you. Because for all we know, she was young and dumb and just wanted to have a little fun. And maybe she was manipulated. We don't know. He was a grown man. She was 20 years younger than him. So we don't know. So it's like, don't blame the girl. And then, the baby is still going to be her kid's half sister, brother, whatever. So it was a little messy. At first, I didn't like it because that one character in there her voice puts me in the mind of Alfre Woodard. And I like Alfre Woodard, don't get me wrong. But to hear this lady's voice and she's not Alfre Woodard, it's kind of thrown it off because I felt like, well, maybe they should have just put Alfre in the movie because her long southern drone, sounds like Alfre Woodard. But I like the girl character, all the lady characters that are on there. They play up the women's characters more than they played up the men's characters. The men were, I think, a casualty of the show, but the women, they really took you through their emotions. And so we have the wanting a child emotion. We have the divorce shame emotion. We have the getting back together shame. We have the I'm divorced shame. We have the I started a new business and we got to make it happen. Everybody in the town wants me to fail, but I'm going to be successful. So there was a lot going on, but I think the thread that went through Magnolia for me was just the shame of everything I just listed, that And that happens in small towns. You know, young girl gets pregnant and she's not married. Jezebel. Shameful. Like you get a scarlet letter on you or something. You can't get over it. Woman gets divorced. Even though if it's the man's fault, he went out and had 15 other children. She divorced him. It's like, how dare her divorce her good man? Good man. Okay. You know, shame if you drop out of school. Shame if you are a little fast, you know, a little slutty. You know, shame if you're a little overweight. Shame if you're a little, just all kinds of shame. And it's like, man, like get over it. Be who you are, accept who you are, and mind your own business. And anybody who's in your business, let them just run them up. Let them just say whatever they want to say. People gonna assume and talk about you whether you do something good. They're gonna talk about you whether you do something bad. People gonna talk regardless. It does not matter. So I don't think this will be your speed, Angie, because even though it's faster than a soap opera, it's still not. In the first 15 minutes, it'll catch your attention because of the drama. But if you're like, I don't care about the drama, it won't matter.
I mean, if the drama's good enough, then I'll watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just a thing of everybody's in everybody's business. And if you've ever been to a small town or know about small towns, you know exactly what's happening. Like I knew exactly what was happening. I told you in my mom's town of Monroe, Louisiana, if a man beats his wife at 2222 Forest Lawn Street, in the free press, they name, because you know it's public information. You can look up whoever owns houses. You can look up their zip code and their address.
Yeah, you can look it up if you want to.
So you can put. Well, that's what the free press does. That's their job. That's their business. That's their whole company. That newspaper does that. They're gonna put 2222 Forest Lawn Street. Mr. Robinson beat Mrs. Robinson. The police came. Mr. Robinson went to jail. He bailed out and was back home. And they're a loving couple. We passed by there yesterday. They were sitting on the front porch. That still do that in 2022 though. So what I'm saying is different small towns, you know, I like that we're in a small area that's big. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a small area, but it's big enough to not know who your neighbors are. Or to not be in their business or to know what's going on in their house at all. Because I don't know what's going on in nobody's house on my whole street. I can speculate, but I don't know because I don't know these people. I can't tell you the color of their sofas. I can't tell you nothing. The color of their walls. I don't know nothing. And hopefully they don't know mine. But that's our show today for Sweet Magnolia. Now, didn't it have another name on to Sweet Magnolia? It was like Sweet Magnolia something. Sweet Magnolia. And when I saw the extra name on it, I said, are they trying to rebrand it because that name was something else? It was kind of weird. Because when I went on Google and I typed in Sweet Magnolia, it was like Sweet Magnolia something. I was like, that ain't what they say on that. Because I just been calling it Magnolia. I wasn't even calling it Sweet Magnolia. I was just calling it Magnolia. Because Sweet Magnolia reminds me of the Julia Roberts. So I just been calling this Magnolia because I told somebody, have you seen Magnolia on Netflix? And they were like, they couldn't find it. I was like, oh, you got to put the sweet in front of it, I guess.
And it's not Magnolia, it's Magnolias. I had no idea. It's Magnolias with an S at the end. I just took a wild guess and thought this was the show you were talking about in the email because I don't know what Magnolia is.
I just call it Magnolia. That's all. Because I don't call it the sweet part because that's another show to me. But that's our show today on Sweet Magnolias on Netflix. If you haven't watched it and you like to see how small town drama plays out, but then also get some really great characters because, I mean, these characters are really great. Check them out. Thank you to all of our new subscribers. If you'd like to support our show, it's $MDI Podcast.
Yes, and please keep subscribing, turn your notifications on so you can be updated with our content that we're posting in our series, our showcases on Fridays, our Saturday outings. Turn your notifications on so you can be up to date with that. Keep liking and commenting as well.
Absolutely. All right, and that's our show for today. And until next time, bye for now. Bye.
Bye.